when I first started saddle hunting, I had a pair of Arc style knee pads. Used them maybe twice, didn't like them. Found a video on G2 Outdoors, I think his name is Greg, did similar to this one, made a tree pad, and I'll never use the knee pads again. First step is you're gonna have to go get all the supplies. I ran into Harbor Freight and I got them. Pretty cheap there. Really only need about 3 things. First thing you're gonna need to stop by is get one of their kneeling pads, $5. Throw it in the cart. Next thing you're gonna need some of these bungee cords. You're gonna want the 12-inch one. They're really thin. And the last thing, zip ties. Most people have 1 or 2 or maybe even all of these things, so you don't need it. Harbor Freight's pretty cheap. I think I picked everything up. It was just about $12. Actually, on this day, they had a 30% coupon. Of course, like a fucking idiot, I forgot it, so I had to go back. 10 minutes, I was out of the store. So this was my old tree pad. I used it for about 2.5 years. It's basically just an old lone wolf seat. You can kind of see what I did. I used a few zip ties and I just held that bungee cord on there. Bent the bungees out a little, sharpened them. I used to hook them into the tree. This just gives you a size comparison between the old pad and the new uncut pad. Just a quick rundown of the tools I used. Shish kebab skewer, preferably a flat one. A little metal file, this is a square one, pair of linesman's pliers, vice grips, and electrical tape. Originally, I thought maybe I'd be able to cut it widthwise, maybe get 2 or 3 pads, but it has a little hole for a handle, and it wasn't as wide as I thought, so I ended up just cutting 1 pad out of it. Next, I marked where I was going to put the zip ties through. I drew a line about 1/4 inch down from the top, make sure it went over the middle, and then I put a little hash mark in the middle, and then from the middle I measured out 3/4 of an inch either side, so it was about 1.5 inches from the farthest left to the farthest right zip tie. Then you're going to want to take your big fat sausage fingers and you pick up your pliers and bend your wife's good skewer. It should look something like this. Then when you're done, you take a little piece of electrical tape and you tape a zip tie. You're going to want to wrap that real tight, working from the bottom towards the hook. The next step is realizing you didn't think this through very well, and you're probably going to need more tools, so you scramble to go grab those. Once you have the zip tie taped to the skewer, you're just going to want to fish it through on the first line. It takes a little bit of work, it wants to twist on you, but if you can do a good job getting it through straight, then you just have to cut the tape carefully, and once the tape's cut, you just peel it away, pull that metal skewer back out. Again, you got to kind of bend and pull and play with it. But once you can get that out, you'll be left with the zip tie through the hole. Should look something like that. The next step's pretty simple. You just do that 3 more times and you're pretty much done. Except I didn't do that. I had my kid annoying me and I wasn't paying attention, and I pulled the zip tie out and left the skewer. Fortunately, I didn't have to redo too much. I was able to kind of push the zip tie through. I tried doing that on the next one without taping it and it didn't work as well, so I wouldn't recommend doing it that way from the start. I figured it would be easier to sharpen the hooks on the bungee cord before I put the bungee cord on. So the first step in that apparently is pushing your fat stomach up to the work surface. And you're going to want to grab your vice grips and pick up the bungee cord. I liked clamping it in. It just made it easier. I didn't have to keep constant pressure with my offhand. But I just kind of filed it till it was sharp. It actually came out pretty good. This next step's pretty self-explanatory, but if you like listening to a high-pitched, nasally voice narrate video, then this is for you. I'll just explain. You close the zip ties and you kind of just cut the ties off. I pull them tight, but I don't pull them so tight that bungee cord actually kind of still moves a little bit in there. Once I get all the tails cut off, just kind of tuck those ends in so they're out of the way a little bit. See, I told you so. It still slides a little bit. In case you didn't believe me, I even wrote it on the screen. The last thing, I just kind of take these little hooks on the end of the bungees and I just jab them into the pad. found that over time I end up using the same hole over and over and over. Just kind of keeps them out of the way when I try to shove them into my bag. Generally put it in the hydration pouch. It fits real good in there. Then to use it, you just kind of take the bungee out, jab the hook in on one side, pull it a little tight, jab it in on the other side. The only thing I might do is round over the edges a little bit, both the corners and the edges. I think it just might slide into my bag a little easier. I was injured making this video. I bled for you guys, so if you're so inclined, go hit that subscribe button. Also, one other bit of advice. Your wife's not going to be happy if you use your good skewer. Not only did I have to take a beating for that one, but I spent a few nights on the couch.